Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to join me for a free quit drinking webinar, go to the website now and reserve your place. What I wanted to talk about today in the video blog is quite a worrying trend. There is a change in what is happening with alcohol. And personally, I find it a little bit worrying, a little bit upsetting, because it does seem that figures are going up, numbers are going up for people suffering with alcohol problems, but it is not proportionate between the genders. It does seem to be that this increase, this surge in problems is being driven by women. And that's worrying, I think. And I thought I'd talk about it today because I think it's a kind of buried problem. It's something that we don't talk about because a lot of this problem drinking from females is not happening in public places. It tends to be the case that women don't go to bars and get drunk and fall about and cause problems. Women are doing the vast majority of their problem drinking in the home. So I think for that reason it's kind of a covered up problem, and we tend to look around at kind of the drunken behavior that we look down upon, and we see it that's coming from men, and we make the false assumption that men have the problem with alcohol. And increasingly, the research is showing us that that is not the case. And I think, it starts with a societal problem, because if you go back 100 years and compared the drinking behaviors of men and women, men had 3 times the chance of becoming alcohol dependent than women. And I think that was predominantly down to the attitude of society. Back then, it was kind of frowned upon for women to drink at all. It was seen as a man's thing. And in a less liberal time, it just wasn't tolerated. Women were not seen in pubs and bars getting drunk. It was a male preoccupation. And I think this comes down to the fact that men and women drink for different reasons. Men drink for more positive reasons. I know that might sound strange for someone like me to say, but men generally drink for kind of positive reinforcement. They drink to be a part of a group. And they drink to kind of give themselves a little bit of Dutch courage, to quiet their kind of low self-esteem and disease with themselves. Whereas women, I think, generally drink for different reasons. I'm not talking about the kind of everyday normal consumption of alcohol, women drinking at parties. I'm talking about problem drinkers here. And I don't want you to think that I'm being sexist by saying all women do this or all men do that. I'm generally talking about alcohol problems here. Women who develop problems with alcohol are often using it as a pain reliever. And I'm not just talking about physical pain, though that sometimes does happen. I'm talking predominantly about emotional pain. Women are often turning to alcohol to cope with emotional distress. And that can be many things. It can be, becoming a mom and having all that pressure heaped on your shoulder and all that expectation that you've got to be super mom, you've got to look after the kids, you've got to be a fantastic role model to your children, you've got to hold down a job because you need the money, and, hormonal changes as women get older and things like that. So there's a lot of emotional turmoil going on in the lives of modern day women. And quite frankly, they're turning to a mild anesthetic to deal with it. And the problem is they're being encouraged to do so because the drinks manufacturers and the marketing departments behind the alcohol industry know this. They know that we're all under pressure. They know that mums are struggling to cope with life. And quite frankly, they are acting in a narcissistic, sociopathic way. There is a brand of wine called Mommy's Little Helper. That's not just wrong, that's evil. It's crazy. There is a social media community, a group called Moms Need Wine. It has nearly 750,000 subscribers. And you only need to go on Facebook and see how we've kind of diluted the truth of what alcohol addiction is and does to people. We talk about wine o'clock. Wine o'clock? I think so. Cheeky little glass of wine? I think so. It's like we're just, deliberately misleading ourselves about what this is. And you've got TV programs, popular TV programs like, reruns of Friends and things like that, that are sponsored by wine manufacturers. And the message is always the same, isn't it? You feeling stressed? Had a hard day at work? Chill out, relax, have some wine. And repeatedly, the marketing and PR departments are linking relaxation with wine, relaxation, wine, over and over again. And what they're creating is kind of a Pavlovian conditioning. So we're seeing a dramatic surge in the number of women with drinking problems. And like I said, 100 years ago, if you were a man, you had a 3 times more chance of becoming alcohol dependent than a woman, because society just didn't accept women drinking. But recent research done about 10 years ago has shown that that number is reduced down. In fact, now it's pretty much equal. So there is no disparity now between the genders. Whether you're male or female, at the moment, you have an equal chance of becoming alcohol dependent. So what we've seen over the years is that the numbers of people with problems with alcohol is increasing, but it is being driven by women. And that's a worrying trend. So the problem we have here, I think, as a society is that all this this escalation of drinking among females, it's not happening publicly. And it's happening in the home. You know, mums are being encouraged by supermarkets and by the marketing to grab a couple of bottles of wine. There's bog-off offers on wine these days in supermarkets, you know, buy one, get one free. And we're stocking up at home, and what's happening is mom is putting the kids to bed, and as soon as she gets the kids to bed, she's opening the wine as a stress release device. And all of this drinking is generally going unnoticed. And there's an additional problem here, because research has recently revealed that while women are much more open about their problems, they are much more likely to go to the doctor and get help for any sort of health or emotional problem. Men tend to keep it bottled up and don't talk about it. But there's a disparity here, because apparently this is not true when it comes to alcohol. That positive tendency of women to talk about their problems and get help does not translate when it comes to alcohol addiction, because there is an element of shame around this. You know, we've created this bubble of unreality that you have to be super mom. You have to be like all the moms you see on TV and in the advertising. You have to be able to hold down a job, look after the kids, help them with their homework, do everything that you normally did, but now with the added pressure of becoming a parent. And you have to do it perfectly, otherwise you're a big fat failure and you suck. And so all of this nonsense is compounded to creating an almost iceberg of alcohol addiction in women, and it needs dealing with. And what I would say is, if you're a woman, you're watching this now and this sounds like you, if your daily routine involves all that stress and pressure and it finishes with a bottle of wine and it's making you miserable, and you can start to see the health problems coming into your life because of drinking poison on a regular basis, I encourage you to deal with this. Don't push it under the carpet. Don't pretend it's not there, because problems with alcohol never get better on their own. It is the nature of this drug. They will only get worse. And so if I can encourage you to do anything, it is to take action today and do something. Whether it's by using my program, my method, or someone else, it doesn't matter. Just do something today. There's loads of great authors out there who've written fantastic work about alcohol addiction. William Porter is amazing. Annie Grace is fantastic. Jason Vale. Yes, there's so much great content out there. Just get started and do something. If you would like to join me for a free quit drinking webinar, go to the website right now and sign up for it. Get your free place. www.stopdrinkingexpert.com. I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions of videos you'd like to meet me to make, drop me an email, craig@craigbeck.com. Thanks a lot.